Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Hampton University. WHES Channel 29 presents Peninsula District Football, the Kecoughtan Warriors versus the Bethel Bruins. Hi everybody, I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. Welcome to wet Armstrong Field for tonight's game between the 2-0 Bethel Bruins and the 0-2 Kecoughtan Warriors. Tonight's game is being taped on the date of 16th of September, and tonight's game is supported by Hampton Chevrolet, Peninsula Screen Printing, and Thompson Ford. And now, our national anthem. As the rain falls here at Armstrong Stadium, we are going to have the introduction of the starting lineups momentarily. Bob, right now, a quick brief summary of what's happened so far in the season for both these teams.
Well, Kecoughtan has really started off kind of slow. The first game, the starting quarterback jammed his shoulder, and they ended up losing that to Menchfield 7-0. They lost last week to Ferguson, played a beautiful second half, didn't play a good first half. On the other hand, Bethel High School's jumped out of the starter, and they are really looking good. They're real strong. Kyle's is using 3 different quarterbacks, which we'll get into a little later on, but they're 2-0, and they look real strong to be a contender for Division 5 AAA this year.
All right, we're going to take a brief pause right now. We'll return with more of our pregame activities, but first, this important message from Hampton Chevrolet.
Listen to the heartbeat. There's really something to sing about here at Hampton Chevrolet GOG Eagle. You pay what we pay the factory. Actual dealer invoice, plus up to $1,000 factory rebate to you on every Hampton Chevrolet and Hampton GO new 1989 car and truck, and every new 1989 Hampton Jeep Cherokee. Yes, you can at Hampton Chevrolet GOG Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard.
Officials warming up, as everyone has to warm up before they play the game. Of course, it's very dangerous not to. The Zebras tonight, well, we got them on the screen. Let's mention who they are.
The referee, we got Mike Robinson.
That's the man with the white hat.
Right. The white hat, he's supposed to be good, right?
That's right.
Okay, linesman is Sonny Short. The back judge is James Young. The umpire, Bill Bullock. And the line judge is Chuck Boney.
All right, and just before we came on the air, we had a chance to have our on-the-field reporter, A.G. Womble, talk with Coach Dennis Kozlowski of the Bethel Bruins. Let's go to that interview right now.
Coach, 2-0, one of the best starts here in a few years for the Bruins.
Well, you know, we've executed very well. You know, our opening game against Norview, we got a couple breaks, took advantage of them, and of course we've gone back to the wishbone, and our people are really responding well to it. But I think the key factor has been our defense has really done a very good job, and our line is just blocking exceptionally well.
A lot of outstanding athletes this year. This Rainey kid's you got to be pleased with his efforts.
Well, we're awfully fortunate he decided to play football this year, and of course he's got great hands, he's got good speed, and as you already know, he's one of the best track athletes around in the state. He's number 5 in the state in the 400. So he's been a great asset to us, and he blends in beautifully with the other people we have in our backfield.
Warriors 0-2, but you're not taking them lightly, I assume.
No way. They're probably the best 0-2 football team that we've seen on tape.
45 seconds.
You know, 1 or 2 plays here or there, give or take, and they'd be 2-0 with us. They've just had the misfortune of making some untimely mistakes, and we've got to avoid that tonight, as I'm sure he's going to try to do as well. Last week, those Bugaboos hurt us. We had 2 touchdowns called back last week on 15-yard clipping penalties that, you know, really hurt us.
What do you expect from the Warriors tonight?
Well, without question, their offense is going to be in high gear, and of course a quarterback can throw the ball. I understand he's healthy again, and a healthy Bugs is a good quarterback, so we're going to see the ball in the air, I'm sure, and of course those 2 good backs are going to be rolling on the ground, and our object is going to be to contain them tonight.
All right, good luck to you tonight, Coz. Coach Coz.
Fans in the stands here at Armstrong Stadium trying to stay dry as possible. The rain is coming down at a pretty good clip right now, and we're in for showers throughout most of the evening.
Yeah, the weather forecast called for violent thunderstorms up till 10 o'clock tonight, but the field is real worn, really soft, because Hampton University played this afternoon, and of course, it rained off and on this afternoon, Tim.
I did also have a chance to talk with Coach Kozlowski before the game, and he said that the field was in pretty fair condition considering the rain and so forth that's been going on. But he didn't think it was going to come into an effect as far as his game plan was concerned. He planned to stay right with his game plan, and he wouldn't exactly divulge that to me.
You can see who's dry, can't you?
You know who's going to stay dry.
This guy over here.
But at any rate, he said that he was going to stay with the same game plan. He's looking at a 50-50 run-pass situation, but he would not divulge his exact game plan, other than to say that Robbie Robinson would start at quarterback tonight in place of Troy Fullwood, who had the previous 2 games. And I'm kind of surprised because, you know, that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But see, he uses all 3 quarterbacks anyway.
Right.
And the coaches know. I talked to Coach Newsom about it, and he says Robinson is the passer, Fullwood is more of a pitch man, as is Gwaltney. So he said we look for them in different situations. They don't lose anything, and it's very unusual to have 3 different quarterbacks. They're going to take the ball different from the center, and they've had no problems with it. He used it last year. He used 2 quarterbacks. So anyway, so it's going to be good. It's going to be watch that tonight with this weather.
Okay, we'll be back with more of our pregame activities, but first, this message from Mike Horton's Peninsula Screen Printing.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
The co-captains about set to meet at the center of the field. Before they do, however, let's go back down earlier to an interview A.G. Womble had with head coach Kurt Newsom of Kecoughtan High School.
All right, we got Warrior coach Kurt Newsom. Kurt, Bruins coming in 2-0. What are you going to do tonight?
Well, they've got an excellent football team. They've got real good skilled people. You know, I think we have to shut down Corey Hodge first, and we have to know the 3 quarterbacks that they use. All of them are capable quarterbacks. And really shut down Rainey out on the corner at the receiver position.
Kermit Buggs came on strong second half last week. How did he do this week in practice?
Kermit had a good week of practice. I think in the second half he realized, you know, that he could play with a little pain, and early on that was a question mark with him, and he proved to himself that he could, and he had a much better second half.
What about the Bruins? What do you expect from them tonight?
The unexpected, you know, they'll come out and give you a few different formations, and they've got real good quickness, and they've played 2 good football games up to this point.
Okay. Kurt, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you so much.
Kurt Newsom.
There you see the co-captains and referee Mike Robinson as they are discussing the tossing of the coin. While they're doing that, we'll keep an eye on that, but let's quickly run down both the starting offensive and defensive lineups for both teams.
As you can see for the Kecoughtan Warriors, quarterback tonight would be Kermit Buggs. His running backs will be Johnson and Bowens. His wideout is Williams. His split end is Joe Flewellen. Tight end is Thacker. The center is Brinkley. Chris Brinkley had a tremendous game last week, as did David Heath at guard. And the other guard is Thomas, and Seward and Robinson are the starting tackles.
Kecoughtan did win the toss and has elected to receive to start the second half, so they've given up the right to receive the ball to begin with. For the Warriors on defense, they are paced by Alves and Brinkley, the ends. The tackles are Thomas and Robinson. The outside linebackers are Thacker and Bembry. Inside linebackers Anderson and Heath. May and Williams are the cornerbacks, and the safety is Fluellen.
And for the for the Bethel Bruins, there's a good shot of the Warrior huddle. Quarterback tonight will be Robbie Robinson. As I told you, Kaz will run two other quarterbacks in it too. Fullback is Marshall. The halfbacks are Hodge and Hodges. The split ends, he'll have two split ends in Bowens and Rainey. Rainey is a very fast track man. Two tackles, Blake and Gaskell. The guards is Robbins and Penart. The center is Wallace.
And on defense for Bethel, the guards are Brown and Cape. Harper and Shackelford are the tackles. The ends are Fullwood and Rainey. The linebackers, Whitehead and Ogborn. The defensive backs are Nobles and Hodges, and the safety is Robinson. And can we mention something about the coaches for both of these two?
Absolutely.
You do Bethel, I'll do Kecoughtan. How's that sound?
Okay, Bethel head coach, of course, is Dennis Kozlowski, and is assisted by Roger Bouchard, Colin Oliver, Larry Esep, and Findolf Taylor. And he's got statisticians Hubbard and Frank Brown, who is also the trainer.
Kurt Newsom is the head coach for Kecoughtan. He is assisted by Mike Horton, Revis Conrad, Tyrus Woodard, and Al Morrow. Johnny Pauls is the athletic director, and the principal is Dennis O'Gilligan. Who's the principal over at Bethel? Anyway?
You don't know who that is?
I know it is.
Tom Bailey. You know, he's back here. He's holding up a sign that says Tom Bailey.
That's why I asked you. You didn't mention him earlier. That's why I asked you. That was.
Well, I had to get the cue. He told me to cue it.
All right, we are set to go, and we are right on cue as the Bethel Bruins have the ball set to kick. Kicking off will be Troy Fullwood, big number 44, and he has it in the air. We're underway from Rainey Armstrong Stadium at the 5-yard line. This is Alan Reed out across the 15 to about the 18-yard line, where Kecoughtan will set up 1st and 10. Rain coming down at a steady pace right now. We can hope that it does. You know, Coach Kylowski was more concerned about the wind than he was the run.
Yeah, because he will run and pass about the same amount of time. Kecoughtan has got to get their offense started. They have a good offensive team. In the 2 scrimmage games, they scored a lot of points putting the ball up in the air and running it, but since Bugs was hurt and only about 60% last week, they really suffered.
There you saw the replay of the kickoff. Reed returning to the 18. It's 1st down for Kecoughtan.
Kaz in a tough 6 line, but that was good power straight ahead for the Warriors.
Out to the 25-yard line.
And you see number 55, Tim, was leading that charge for the Warriors, and that's David Heath. He was an offensive guard.
7 yards on the play.
I did not pick up the running back that carried that ball, Bob. I have to apologize to the fans. It's kind of hard for us to make it out here on that play. However, fumble on the exchange is covered, I believe, by Kecoughtan. They'll retain possession.
Well, that's something that we'll probably see a lot of. It is wet out there. It is raining right hard, as you can see coming down on the screen. You are going to see a lot of mishandles. Kecoughtan uses a high-risk offense anyway. In the veer, Bethel, again, will use a triple option, which is also a high-risk offense. And when you got a slick ball, it really makes it tough.
Makes it 3rd down and about 6 now.
35.
Quarterback on the option play. He tries to cut it inside. He gets out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Got back to the line of scrimmage before the fumble the last time, maybe a little bit more than that, but it brings up a 4th down and about 3, maybe a short 3.
And you'll see on the replay when Kermit tried to make his cut, his foot just went out from under him. As you right there, and it's because, and you see the turf that came up with it, so the footing is not excellent out there either.
All right, total.
Dustin Farr kicks it, and it rolls dead just on the Bethel side of midfield.
If you don't get the ball in there, it's not going to roll much on this field. It's going to hit and just like hitting a sponge.
Dustin Farr, who came into this game with an average equal to his number on the jersey, number 31, has averaged 31 yards per kick for the season.
Okay,
this one is marked at the 49.
We'll get to see what Bethel is going to do offensively. They have been working real hard on this offense. And got Robbie Robinson starting, as you said, was a switch from the Fullwood starting the previous 2 games.
Robinson back to pass. Has a man, that's Corey Hodge over the middle. He's got it complete. Hodge struggles down inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line.
And everybody knew the Cows was going to run that first play, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
You can see he is real impressed with how he found Robertson is really funny. He had a football camp, and this young man's a senior. He saw him pass the ball. He says, "My golly, he passes better than my quarterbacks."
Ball is marked just short of the 33-yard line. A first down for the Bruins. So Hodge coming out of the backfield takes the first pass. And this time, Hodge gets the handoff and picks up a couple of tough yards in the wet of Armstrong Stadium. Pickup of, let's call it a yard. It's not quite 2, so we'll call it a 1-yard pickup for Hodge. There you see the Kecoughtan Warriors as we'll watch the replay.
And he's straight ahead, but you're losing the footing. It's kind of dangerous down there. As Corey Hodge caught the pass, he made a move and almost went down.
Second down and a long 8 for the Bruins. No score. Not much happening there. A good job on defense by the Kecoughtan Warriors as they stacked up the ball carrier that time was Charles Johnson, number 32.
And he was assisted by number 78, David Robinson. Did a good job of plugging up that left side of the offensive line.
Number 36, Corey Hodge is the carrier for the Bruins. He is tackled by number 55, David Heath.
Well, they say, in fact, Corey Hodge carried. It looked like it was another ball player, but nonetheless, it's little or no gain. Third down and about 8 as they shift out of the wishbone.
That's a double wing he's in.
Robinson hit his intended receiver, Steve Hodges, but Hodges couldn't hold on to the slippery ball.
It was just a little bit behind him, but it was a catchable ball, but being as slick as it is, it really makes it tough to hang on to.
Steve Hodges coming into this game had 3 catches for a total of 7 yards.
And you'll see this hits him,
yep.
And you couldn't ask for a better throw ball.
Well, now the Bruins are facing a 4th down, and we're going to see an apparent field goal attempt.
And this is 44 Fullwood.
This will be marked at the 38, giving the 10 yards in, and now we have a flag down.
Took too long. If you'll notice, he is a straight-ahead kicker. You don't see many straight-ahead kickers anymore. They usually are what they call the sidewinders or soccer type.
Got an offside call against Kecoughtan, so that'll move the ball a little closer. It's still going to be 4th down. But now we'll see if, in fact, they change the strategy, if Coach Kozlowski decides to change it. Apparently, that will not change the plan. Now it'll be a 34-yard line point of kick, which will make it 44 yards. He'll be kicking out of the hold of backup quarterback Brian Gwaltney. High snap. Gwaltney gets it down well. It's short and will not even make it to the bars, so it'll be a touchback, and Kecoughtan will get it at the original line of scrimmage for that play. Or check that, it'll go to the 20. Okay, I was...
Yeah, once it goes into the end zone in the high school, it'll come back out. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Coach Kozlowski's done a tremendous job over at Bethel High School, as you know, but a lot of people don't know his record. He's got 104 wins, 49 defeats, and 6 ties in the years that he's been at Bethel High School. Has built a tremendous program over there in football, recognized throughout the state.
7:33 left here in the first quarter. Kecoughtan has the ball. Not much happening that time, as the straight handoff picked up maybe a half yard. Ball carrier for Kecoughtan that time was number 5, Kevin Johnson.
Talking about trying to build up a football power, Kecoughtan is trying to do it. In fact, this past summer, they took 20 ball players to a football camp up at Virginia Tech.
Johnson in the backfield along with Chris May. Fake is to May, the handoff is to Johnson. Johnson is hit by one Bruin and bounces off, gets to the outside, and gets very close to a first down. So a real good, strong effort by Kevin Johnson as he was stopped initially about 5 yards behind where they eventually will set the ball.
Well, not only that, his balance was excellent. I mean, he was hit 2 or 3 times, as you'll see on the replay, and he didn't go down as treacherous as the foot. He's just a crossbuck or a delay. He's hit right there one time, gets out of that tackle, makes a nice move, gets away from that tackle. Finally, the third guy brings him down, and that was number 49 for the Bruins, Lamont Marshall, who finally made that tackle.
Third down and less than a yard for the Warriors. And again, a fumble on the snap, and Kermit Buggs picks it up and he'll get the first down, and he may get a lot more. One man to beat, and he can't quite do it. I had to hold off for a second because I wasn't sure Robbie Robinson was the touchdown-saving tackler for Bethel. Kermit Buggs took a broken play and turned it into almost a touchdown.
Well, any other time it would have been down right where he fumbled the ball, but everybody pinched in when he dropped the ball, as you will see, and then he just found a seam. There he drops the ball, everybody pinches in, he finds the seam, and boom, he is through the center of that line, and looks like he's going all the way, but you say Robbie Robinson, number 14, the starting quarterback, just does catch him.
First down and goal at the 7. Down inside the 5 to about the 3. That is Nick Bowen, number 20, who had a good game last week for the Warriors in a losing effort to Ferguson. Bowen for the season has 19 carries for 123 yards. There you see him slicing off the right side and trying to maintain his balance. He got the ball down to about the 3.
Almost made it in.
Second down and goal for the Warriors. Kevin Johnson gets the handoff. He is not going to get into the end zone, however. It's going to be third down and goal. 4:53 remaining here in the first quarter. We play 4 12-minute quarters in high school football. Got down to about the 1-yard line. It'll be third and goal. There you see Coach Kozlowski trying to shield himself from the rain here as he's giving instructions from the sidelines to his defensive corps. And of course, the Bethel Bruins, 2-0 in the Peninsula District, trying to maintain that undefeated status. Left side carry, no signal as of yet. Now we see a fourth down signal. So apparently he did not quite push it across the goal line. It'll be a fourth and goal inside the 1.
What a tremendous job that Bruin defense is doing, is plugging up that center. Once they got down within 2 yards of there, they really got tough.
65 yards on the carry by the quarterback Buggs on that play to set up the first and goal. And now Kecoughtan is going to call a timeout. We have a timeout on the field. No score, 3:50 remaining here in the first quarter. From Armstrong Stadium, we'll return with more high school football, but this message from Thompson Ford.
You know, my mama and papa took us touring all over the U.S. of A. in this fine Ford sedan. We saw the Atlantic Ocean and the Grand Canyon and watched Niagara fall right through them windows right there. Yes, sir. Ford built some dependable automobile back then. Well, let me tell you, they still build them like that. And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there.
Got it.
3:50 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Kecoughtan has called a timeout and now resumes play with a fourth down and goal. The ball just outside the goal line.
This is the big play of this early part of the ball game.
Alan Reed and Chris May, and a fumble. And Bethel's got the football. No, are they saying touchdown?
No, it's touchdown. That's the best play they've had all game, has been the drop ball between the center and the quarterback. They picked up, I don't know how many yards Buggs picked up, and then he got the touchdown on the same play. You think that was designed?
We're going to watch the replay and see if, in fact, the was a fumble. It did it. Yes, there was. That ball is loose, and Bugs picks it up and struggles into the end zone. So again, the busted play, as you said, Bob, it's been the best thing the Kecoughtan's had.
And I know the Warriors are saying about time we start getting some breaks.
They're going to go for 2. Man open in the corner. He's got it.
That was a nice pass for number 14 for the Warriors. That's Chris May, who is a left-hander, and he threw that ball in there. Just a pretty nice pass and a good call from Coach Kurt Newsome and the Warriors.
Lawrence Lewis, number 81, is on the receiving end of that 2-point. Watch the play here. You're going to see him pick the ball up after the fake kick. Looks like he's going to run, and then he, as you said, Bob, he throws that left-handed to a wide-open Lawrence Lewis in the end zone. And Kecoughtan has stung the Bethel Bruins, and they lead 8-0.
And with the field like it is, you're not going to get many big plays that you wouldn't think. But that was a tremendous drive. They got the ball at their own 20. That was an 80-yard drive.
8 plays, 3 minutes and 48 seconds, capped by a 1-yard sneak by Kermit Bugs, who had
I don't think that was a sneak.
had the only other touchdown Kecoughtan had so far this year. So after two games and one half of a quarter, he's got all the scoring for his team. Fumbled on the catch, but he picks it up. Now running straight up the field. That is number 45, Steve Hodges, who had trouble with that slippery pigskin, but got it up about to the 20-yard line.
Well, the Bethel deep men were really up around the 20-yard line, and the Kecoughtan kicker got it a little bit over their head and caused him to try to catch it with his shoulder. And, of course, bounce that off the pad. You got to catch that ball with your hand.
If you can see this on the replay, I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up, but had he gotten through that wave of green jerseys,
he was wide open. Well, he had one. The kicker was down here, but there was a blocker down there by the kicker.
All right, the Bruins trailing 8-0. Set up. Robinson hands off. Corey Hodge is the ball carrier for the Bruins. Hodge with his uniform already muddied here. This field, I have to admit, the field is a beautiful field. It's in good field position, but good condition, I should say. But the game this afternoon and the rains tonight and the play is going to deteriorate the footing immensely as we go through this evening.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Pickup of 2 yards on the play for Hodge. 2nd down and 8. Robbie Robinson calling the signals for the Bruins. Wants to pass, throws in the flat, has a man completed. More than enough for a first down out close to the 40-yard line.
There were 7 Kecoughtan Warriors around that ball carrier when he made his turn.
That was Rodney Bowens, a 5'7", 153-pound junior from Bethel. We'll get a chance to watch it again.
Watch how many defensive people are around the ball carrier when he finally gets tackled. You talk about pursuit. He makes a good move here, gets away from one, but look at all the Kecoughtan Warriors that are around.
Kecoughtan not playing at all like an 0-2 team. First down for the Bruins. Hodge with a little on the right side, maybe a half yard or so.
They're having trouble moving that Kecoughtan Warrior defensive line because you can't get real good footing. You may be heavier and stronger, but if you can't get good footing under you, you're not going to move anybody.
They're going to give him forward progress of a yard, so it'll be 2nd down. Well, 2 yards, actually. 2nd down and 8 for the Bruins. Robbie Robinson with a long count. Wants to pass again. Has a man open on the right side, the left side. He got it. He made the catch.
Do you believe how he caught that ball with his knee on the ground with one hand? What concentration by number 21.
Craig Rainey, who has been superb for Bethel so far this season, did a great job. I hope we have that on replay because that was a class act catch. Watch this.
And he is a tremendous outstanding track runner, but watch this catch.
He has to come back for the ball. He juggles it, falls to the ground. Now look at this, the presence of mind to That is great. Great coverage, guys. Our cameraman and our slow-mo on that had a great
They get an A for that.
Amen. And a big first down for the Bruins. Mr. Rainey on the receiving end of that pass. What an extra effort that was. Robinson hands off right side, maybe a yard again.
And you see, he kind of bobbled the snap from center himself that time.
Steve Hodges was the ball carrier for the Bruins. Pickup of about a yard, second down and 9. The rain continues to fall here Friday, or rather Saturday night. This game being played September the 16th, 1989. Half a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Kecoughtan on top by 8-0 over the undefeated Bethel Bruins. Second down and 9 for the Bruins. Again, Robinson wants to pass. Same intended receiver, different results this time. As Rainey had double coverage over there. Back on defense for Kecoughtan was Kevin Johnson, one of the two-way players, several two-way players for both teams. Chris May, number 14, also back there. He and Johnson actually team up in the running back positions for the Warriors.
Well, Kirk Newsom knew, as other coaches have scouted the Bethel Bruins, they'll know that they will throw deep to Rainey. Rainey has got exceptional speed, and you're right, they were double covering him, and that ball would have had to have been right on the money for it to be caught. If he'd have caught that, it would have been a circus catch.
Again, Robinson on the delay, expecting Kecoughtan to put the rush on, and the ball carrier, Steve Hodges, lost his footing in what is probably the worst area on the field, as the first quarter has come to an end here at Armstrong Stadium. One quarter has been completed, and our score is Kecoughtan 8, the Bethel Bruins nothing, and we'll return after this message from Thompson Ford.
You know, my grandmama was one of the first women to register to vote in this county. And one of the first to have an automobile driver license, too. And her old Ford still runs sweet as she ever did. And when she needs a little maintainment, I take her to the best Ford service department in the US of A. That's Thompson Ford. They speak Ford out there. You know, when my grandpapa bought this horseless carriage T-model Ford, everybody looked at him like he's crazy, especially his carriage horse, Napoleon, because he figured hay got to be a lot cheaper than gasoline. Well, the rest is historical. And to this day, nobody works harder than Lewis Parsons to be sure that every Thompson Ford customer stays a Thompson Ford customer. And that sounds like good horse sense to me.
Mike Taylor in deep punt formation for the Bruins gets a one-hopper. He'll get the kick away. Flags are down. A short kick off the right side of his foot. And it takes a Kecoughtan roll back towards the 37-yard line of Kecoughtan.
And that may be a negative kick.
Well, you're absolutely right. It looks like it will end up about the line of scrimmage, but we do have penalty flags on the field. And while they're sorting this out, let's make you aware of the standings after the games that have been played this weekend. Denby is 2-0 in the district, 2-1 overall, as they were defeated by Tab in an upset Friday night. Bethel, of course, is 2-0 overall, 1-0 in the district, as they are discussing the options here with the Kecoughtan defensive team. They may very well take this play. And they will, in fact, refuse the penalty, and the ball will go over to the Warriors. Warwick was defeated Saturday afternoon by Hampton 34-0, so they fall to 1-1 and 2-1 overall. Menchville is 2-1 in the league, and they're 2-1 overall. Menchville a surprise this year. They defeated Ferguson, who beat Kecoughtan last week. This is Kevin Johnson, right side carry for the Warriors. So, you know, the one point I wanted to make by going down some of these scores and some of these standings is the parity that is here on the Peninsula District.
There's no dominant team this year in the Peninsula District. We have good teams, as you can see here on the replay and watching this thing. The Peninsula District has always represented very well in the playoffs throughout the years, but I think we have more strong teams on the Peninsula this year than we've had in many years.
Roland Harper in on the last stop for Bethel. The Bethel defense, again, coming up big. This time they put the brakes on Nick Bowen.
And Roland Harper, number 77, was the lead tackler again on that play.
There you see Coach Kozlowski in his rain gear, the big umbrella, and we saw a bolt of lightning just before the conclusion of that first quarter that kind of put the scare into our camera people who are above us on the roof here. And it's not someplace I'd like to be. So
that's nowhere I want to be.
There you see the coach for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Both coaches here were mapping out the strategy during this rain-filled first half. Kermit Buggs along the line of scrimmage goes forward for a couple of tough yards. It'll be 4th down, however, for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Just to continue with our listings here, Ferguson is 1-2 in the district, 1-2 overall. That victory coming at the hands of Kecoughtan. Lafayette is 0-2 in the district, 1-2 overall, as they were trounced by Phoebus, 27-0.
Yeah, Phoebus has really got their game together. The Turner young man is healthy now, and boy, as he goes. So, wow, what a kick.
Farr gets a beautiful kick. It's fielded at the 20-yard line by Steve Hodges, and he gets out about to the 28-yard line. But a beautiful spiraling kick by Dustin Farr.
He tried to jump in a couple of times.
Steve Hodges returned the kick.
Talking about the parity in the Peninsula District, I also would like to just go back a little bit and talk about Coach Koz's program a little bit. Last year, his seniors went on to scholarships to play sports, to play football, with $420,000 worth of scholarships given to his former seniors, and I'll go over some of those things, some of those players as time permits.
Yeah, I would like to hear some of the names, because a lot of these fans out there are very much aware of these players. Robinson fakes, still has the football, looking downfield. Pursuit is there. He throws across the grain to Rainey, and the ball was just well out of his reach. So it was a good idea. He just didn't execute.
It was behind him. It really was. Well, Charles Nickens, as you remember last year, he played for Kozlowski. He is a starter at West Point. Kevin Kopman, a little scrappy defensive guard, is at West Point Prep School. Melinza Bird is at Virginia Tech, and he's starting at linebacker. These are freshmen, true freshmen. Todd Kelly is at Tennessee, and we'll go on with some more of these in just a minute or two.
Incomplete pass stops the clock at 9:22. It's 2nd down and 10. Robinson this time hands off in the middle. The ball carrier for the Bruins this time is number 33, Marcus Muskelly. So Coach Kaz not afraid to go to the bench for some of his running backs. A lot of these fellas haven't seen a lot of action at this point.
To continue with these, Marcus Washington from the Bruins is up at UVA. Steve Fountain is at Emory and Henry. Brian Hargrove is at West Virginia Wesleyan, and Todd Hall is at Gardner and Webb. And that's quite an impressive list of graduates that have gone on to the college from last year's team.
3rd and 7. Robinson could not again connect with the intended receiver on the far sideline. Rainey at the 41-yard line had gone down far enough to get the first down if he caught the ball. But the ball was low and short, and it goes incomplete, stopping the clock with 8:37 remaining in the first half. Kecoughtan leading 8-0. And it'll be 4th down and 7 for the Bruins.
And I don't want to slight two tremendous athletes that came out of Coach Koz's program. And of course, we're talking about Jerry Holmes, the defensive back who used to be with the Jets, who is now with Detroit Lions, and Sean Gale, who is the safety for the Chicago Bears.
Flags down again. Mike Taylor's kick takes a Bethel bounce. It goes out of bounds at the Kecoughtan 48-yard line, but we do have yellow hankies all over the field.
Look at it.
We'll let them try and figure out exactly who is the guilty party.
Well, you're right. It's yellow flags all over the field. But to carry what I'm talking about a little further, need to talk a little bit about the Kecoughtan graduates. We've got we're catching some static in my ears here. Dwight Hollinger is a redshirt sophomore playing for UNC. He was one of the top 3 linebackers of the year by Sporting News. Doxy Jordan, a former quarterback for the Warriors, is a safety at UNC. Bill Boyd is a 3-year starter down at UNC. So there's 3 UNC players down there from Kecoughtan. Mark Vermeil is a redshirt freshman starting, and he's going to start against Clemson today. And Eric Williams is a backup quarterback at JMU. So we have some tremendous athletes here on the peninsula.
Taylor's kick after the penalty for holding ends up at about the same spot it would have had they not called a penalty. Actually, Kecoughtan, by taking the penalty, ended up with about a 2-yard negative gain on that. They would have had it at the 49, now they got it at the 47.
Yeah, but as bad as he's been kicking, that wasn't a bad call.
Sure, I'm not questioning the call. I would have taken the penalty myself.
No, absolutely,
especially
I would
with
have
a wet football. You never know what's going to happen. No question, that was the right call. It just worked out for Bethel that it did not end up hurting them. So the Kecoughtan Warriors leading 8-0, surprising the Bethel Bruins here in the first half. Not surprising Coach Kozlowski, because he told me this is one of the better 0-2 teams he's ever seen. Fumble on the exchange. It looks like Bethel may have it, but let's wait and see if the officials agree. And they do. The Bethel Bruins get the fumble. That's about the 3rd time that Kecoughtan, or maybe even more than that.
Well, we know of 3.
Yeah.
We know of 3. And 2 of them, we saw the one on a touchdown, the other one on a 60-yard run or something. So
I guarantee you, my statistician Jerry the Z Zomplis knows they've had 3 fumbles, and that is the first that they have lost. So they fumbled it 3 times and lost 1.
You mean I was right? When I said 3, well, thank you, Jerry.
Changed that number just before I looked at it.
Yeah, okay. You see what he's talking about too, though, yeah.
Grease his palm, and he'll make the statistics come out any way you'd like them. So the Bruins get a break here, trailing 8-0. They've got the ball at the Kecoughtan 48. Fullwood now at quarterback, bobbles the ball, but in fact is able to get it back and give it off.
He pitched that ball.
Paul London got the pitch from Fullwood, so there's a change now in the strategy by Coach Kozlowski as he has switched quarterbacks. Robinson is not the signal caller. Troy Fullwood, who had a fair amount of success in the first 2 games with his team winning both games, so I guess you could say that's pretty successful.
Well, London is a familiar name for the Bethel Bruins. He had 2 brothers that preceded him as ball players at Bethel. One that ended up going down to East Carolina, and I'm not sure where his other brother went to, but they're fine football family, the Londons.
Fullwood keeps on the option, pitches back to Hodge, and he crosses the 45 to about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that was a tricky play that time. It looked like he was going to lose it, but he did end up hanging on to it.
Fullwood has not passed a great deal in those first 2 games. He is hitting 50% of his passes, 3 out of 6, and he has been intercepted 1 time. In the first 2 games, Bethel as a team has only allowed that one interception. 3rd down at about 7. The pass is intercepted. Pass was tipped off the hands of the intended receiver, Rodney Bowens, and in fact was grasped by Laddie Anderson, number 56 of Kecoughtan, and the Warriors get the ball on the turnover.
Well, that's back-to-back turnovers.
And I just got through saying that Bethel had only been intercepted once, and now they have doubled those stats. Watch the replay here. You see the ball is thrown well out of the reach of the intended receiver, and Laddie Anderson, number 56, is right there for the Warriors to make the interception. 5:40 remaining here in the first half. Kecoughtan with the ball and an 8-point lead. Nick Bowen gets the call for the Warriors. Among others, in on the tackle for the Bethel Bruins was number 75, Juan Shackelford.
Number 20, Nick Bowen.
As I mentioned before, Nick Bowen had a couple of good games coming into this game, as Bowen had picked up an average of more than 60 yards per game after the first 2 games Kecoughtan has played. Gain of about 1 yard, 2nd down and 9 for the Warriors. Kermit Buggs, recovering from a shoulder injury, takes on the quarterback keeper, picks up some pretty decent yardage, but he will be well short of a first down. It'll be third down for the Warriors.
Last week when Kecoughtan played Ferguson, Kermit used that quarterback keeper and picked up a lot of yardage.
Following the blocks of my candidate for player of the game last week, which was Chris Brinkley.
But he was also following the blocks of David Heath, who was the guard on that side, helping. So, you know, both of those young men were excellent, did an excellent job last week.
Third down for Kecoughtan, third down and about 6. But it's going to be a first down for the Warriors. Nick Bowen with the big gainer out to the 45-yard line of Bethel.
And he popped through that line, and he was into the secondary before anybody realized that Nick Bowen had the ball. And that was a big first down. As you can see here on the replay, it's just a straight dive on that veer play, and he went right by number 77, and quick back.
12 yards for Bowen on the play. This is Bowen again, this time not nearly as successful. He may be gaining 2 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 8 for the Warriors. Clock continues to move now. We're inside of 4 minutes to go here in the first half.
Tim?
If you joined us late, yes, AJ.
Talking about parity in the Peninsula District, I had a chance to talk with Mike Smith and Danny Mitchell a few minutes ago. I think Danny's going to join us at halftime, but they're absolutely ecstatic about that 34-0 win against Warwick today.
All right, maybe we can get some information on just how they engineered that 34-point victory. The Crabbers back on the winning path, as many people expected they would. Blowing right up the middle is Kevin Johnson. He's going to score. Kevin Johnson, untouched, scores from 47 yards out, or check that 42 yards out.
And that's something that Bethel did not think would happen, was that Kecoughtan could take the ball and shoot right up the gut and score. You can see here on the replay, it's just a handoff right up the middle from a split back situation, and it looks like Bugs changed the play, and boom, he was through the line of scrimmage, and they had the defense spread out and nobody could catch him.
So Kevin Johnson, now the extra point try, is going to be bobbled, and paying the price is the Kecoughtan player. A little roughhousing after the play. One of the officials reaching for the penalty flag as the contact might have been a little bit excessive, but they instead do not call a penalty.
I don't think the contact was excessive.
Well, there was a second hit.
Oh, okay.
There was a second hit on the man after the play was basically dead. But a 41-yard scamper by Kevin Johnson, and the extra point try is no good. And now the Kecoughtan Warriors are on top of the Bethel Bruins, a team that was heavily favored coming into this game by most people who know. 14-0.
And those people who know are not always right.
He's not the truth.
Well, we got to break in action. I do want to give thanks and credit to the Sports Place, Turner Sports Place, for supplying T-shirts or what we actually calls them
staff shirts.
Staff shirts. Joe's got his in and put it on you. But anyway, we get a chance to. I want to talk a little bit about the Sports Place after this kickoff.
All right, we're going to do it as Kecoughtan leading by 14 points. Fielding the ball at the 10-yard line is Steve Hodges, out to the 35-yard line.
Well, that makes it tough when you got Corey Hodge and Steve Hodges, and which one's Hodge and which one's Hodges? It's just Stephen Hodge, right?
It's Steve Hodges and Corey Hodge. Go ahead and finish what you're going to say.
Well, these shirts were donated by the Turner Sports Place, and all our staff has them on. It's got a tremendous logo, and Turner Sports Place is located in the Willow Oak Shopping Center. It specializes in team sports as well as custom screen printing items. Turner's now stocks all various professional sporting clothes, such as Redskins and Orioles items and such as that. It's a sports place. Also has the state-of-the-art screen printing operation, which can, I can't even read my own writing here. But anyway, it can do a good job. What is that? Serve your every need. That's not my writing, it's yours, isn't it?
No, it's not my writing.
Dave Chubb, if you're listening, Dave, you do a great job, and we appreciate it. And Tim went down to Omar, the tent maker, and him and Scotty got it. Did you ever get your T-shirt?
Never got a T-shirt, but I understand he'll put it on my tuxedo if I wear it.
But
Flag on that last play.
And they do an excellent job, and our
much better than you do of reading their blog. That's
I tell you, my debut, that's terrible.
Well, the people get the message. Apparently, Turner's has just about any kind of sporting apparel that you'd want to have. Orioles, Redskins, colleges, high school, everything, right?
They really do. And he's got some staff shirts, coaches for the different teams that is awesome. Really is awesome.
Where are they located, Bob?
They're Willow Oak Shopping Center.
Willow Oak Shopping. I'm going to get you through this.
Appreciate all the help you can give me.
All right. So there's a penalty on the play. It ends up being an illegal procedure, but it's declined, so they'll take the play. It's first down now. Robbie Robinson back in as quarterback, finds Rainey. He completes the pass at the 37-yard line.
And he did a good job of turning around, finding the ball, and coming back to it. Rainey impresses me with his hands. That was excellent.
Coming into this game, he had caught 3 passes, but he had totaled 99 yards in those 3 passes. Watch the replay here.
And you'll see him running down, sprinting down the field, and as the ball gets to him, he'll have to adjust and turn around and come back. And here he is. He turns around and comes back, and the defender did not know where the ball was.
The defender on that play was Chris May, number 14 of Kecoughtan. Did a good job, but Rainey did a better job. Rainey again wants to throw. This time it's behind the intended receiver.
Well, I'm not too sure if that was behind the intended receiver or he reached up and took it away from number 11.
That's possible.
Rodney Bowens.
Corey Hodge was there, as was Rodney Bowens, as Robinson could have been throwing to either of them. And nonetheless, that Hodge, in fact, is the one who got a hand on it.
Well, you flood the zone sometimes, but you don't want your ball players that close where 2 people can be going for the same ball.
The Bruins averaging 28 points a game coming into this game. And so far, Kecoughtan has shut them out. Robinson again, back to pass. Finds a man over the middle. He's got it complete. That's London, and London is gang tackled at about the 30-yard line.
And that'll bring up a 3rd down because it looks like he's short. Yeah, he's about 3 yards short.
Paul London, 6'3", 174-pound junior, on the receiving end of that pass.
I want to talk a little bit about the tackle, number 58. You see that young man? His name is Christopher Gaskell.
Well,
58.
Let's watch the replay, and you tell us about him.
As we're watching, I think he is a 9th grader. He's 6'4", 226, and he's starter. I'm going to tell you, I don't know where he came from. They billed him big.
I wouldn't want his grocery bill, whatever his parents are doing. Not much happening there. Good defensive effort by Kecoughtan, and let's give credit to that defense. They have held this high-scoring Bethel team scoreless here in the first quarter, first half.
That was Tony Alves, number 50, on the stop that time. He's had a number change, and he's wearing number 50 out there tonight. And we have a timeout on the field. I believe Kozlowski called the timeout. As we take a timeout, let's go real quick with a message from Mike Horton's Peninsula Screen Printing. Did I do that good?
You did good. Nine.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
Well, while we were away, Robbie Robinson tried to get the first down for the Bruins. It was 4th down and 4, and his pass falls incomplete. So the Warrior defense does the job again, and they'll take over leading 14-0.
And he didn't have a lot of pressure on him. It looked like to me that he threw the ball expecting the young man to curl one way, and he curled the other way, and it was behind him, and he did get a hand on it, but we'll never know exactly. I don't want to blame anybody on that.
Kozlowski's running game is not there tonight. 9 yards total net. Fumble and recovered by Buggs. So he's been lucky in that ball came loose and he grabbed it in the air.
It came right back to him.
A big turnover. So I don't know if you call that a fumble because it never ended up on the ground, but he juggled it, I guess.
Well, it didn't stay in the hands of the person he handed it to.
Well, it was him who had it was he who handed it to begin with.
Well,
watch here. It looked like he was faking the handoff, and he got it back. Fortunately for the Warriors, they averted a big turnover. As I said, Coach Kozlowski's offense, which is 28 points a game, has been held to just 9 yards on the ground through the first half here with just 20 seconds remaining. Kecoughtan with the football, and they'll elect, apparently, to just let this clock run out and go into halftime with a 2-touchdown lead.
Number 7, Kermit Buggs on the carry.
There you see the Warrior mascot, or what would you call him? Is he a mascot? No,
he's Indian. That's what I'd call him. He's got a headdress on.
He's an Indian. All right, time has run out here in the first half. After 24 minutes, our score is the Kecoughtan Warriors 14, the Bethel Bruins nothing. We'll return to Armstrong Stadium with our halftime activities, but first this message from Hampton Chevrolet.
Listen to the heartbeat. There's really something to sing about here at Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. You pay what we pay the factory. Actual dealer invoice, plus up to $1,000 factory rebate to you on every Hampton Chevrolet and Hampton Geo new 1989 car and truck, and every new 1989 Hampton Jeep Cherokee. Yes, you can at Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard.
All right, we got Mike Horton. Mike, a little different than last week.
Yeah, things are looking a lot better for us. We still have got some adjustments to make to the double slots out there. We're working on that right now.
Kermit Buggs made the best out of a couple missed muffs there.
Yeah, we got a few breaks finally went our way for a change, so I hope it continues.
What do you expect from the Bruins second half?
I think they're going to throw the ball.
Okay, good luck to you, Mike. Mike Horton. Tim?
All right, AG, thank you, and we'll get back to you in a moment. I understand you hope to have Danny Mitchell as your halftime guest, or certainly one of your halftime guests, but at any rate, while you're doing that, we will run down the scoring for the game so far. The Kecoughtan Warriors have both the touchdowns. Kermit Buggs scored from 1 yard out after a 65-yard gain on a fumbled ball that he picked up and ran the busted play down to a 1st and goal, and then finally took the ball in with 3:45 to go in the first quarter, capping an 80-yard drive, 8 plays, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. The 2-point conversion was good on the pass to Lawrence Lewis, and Kecoughtan led 8-0. And then with 3:22 to go in the second quarter, Kecoughtan's Kevin Johnson raced 41 yards for the touchdown. The extra point try was no good, so the 65-yard drive in 6 plays, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and it capped the scoring at 14-0 here at halftime. And Bob, I'm surprised. Certainly, I would imagine you are too.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are. The Kecoughtan Warriors are not surprised. They know they have a good team. They just didn't expect to have such an easy job with the Bethel Bruins, but they got 2 real good plays. One was a busted play with Kermit that carried it, almost got a score out of it, and then he ended up getting a score on the same type of a fumble snap from center. So I'd look for Bruins to make some real strong adjustments, and I believe Mike Horton's right. Kaz coming out passing. He was passing. His running game is non-existent, which is very unusual for the Bruins. They have established themselves as a power running team this year so far.
They have some superb running backs with Robinson doing some of the running, as well as Corey Hodge, Steve Hodges, and others. They've had a good running game, but they just haven't got it going so far. And let's give credit to Kecoughtan. Their defense has done a big job.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to return with our halftime activities. A.G. Womble will have Danny Mitchell from the Hampton High School football team. But first, let's watch this message from Horton's Peninsula Screen Printing.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
You know, as far back as I can remember, there's always been a Ford truck in our family. My grandpapa, he drove this very one to market every working day. There's nothing like a Ford truck, and you sure can't wear one out. And there's no easier place to buy one than Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're nice people out there. And they speak Ford, too.
Contest.
All right, Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble back at Armstrong Stadium. And A.G., understand you have Mr. Danny Mitchell with you.
It was the Hampton High School.
Okay, we got Danny Mitchell. Danny, first of all, a little surprise here in the first half.
Yeah, Kecoughtan's moving the ball well on the ground right now. You know, with the weather conditions, I thought that might favor Kecoughtan a little bit.
Kermit Buggs muffed a couple, but he made the best of missed opportunities there.
Yeah, he dropped that ball right there on the first touchdown, picked it up and ran about 60 yards on it. He's a good athlete.
Almost like the Murphy-Ruski play.
Hey, the Murphy-Ruski play is illegal from what I hear right now, so I don't know.
How can it be legal one week, illegal today?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You have to be happy with the 34-zip win over Warwick today. What worked well for y'all today, Danny?
Well, we played real well defensively today, and we didn't leave the ball laying on the ground and moved the ball well on the ground today.
No fumbles?
I think we had one fumble, but it wasn't in a crucial time, and we had one fumble or either one interception. I'm not sure which it was.
Defensively, I didn't see it. I saw some people that saw the first half. They said everything was just clicking defensively today.
I think we played good Hampton defense today. You know, the kids were aggressive at the start of the game, and it looked like some Hampton hits.
Okay. Anybody outstanding out there today?
It was good team defense, but really our secondary and our defensive ends, they've been maligned, you know, this year, but they played real well, and our front four put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, too, and that helped us a whole lot.
Matthews had to have a good game, putting 34 points on the board.
Aaron ran the ball well, and he passed the ball well, and he's going to get better each game, I believe. I think he put too much pressure on himself at the start of the season. I believe he's going to get better as the season goes on.
Okay, I had Murphy and Becknell and the rest of the running backs do today.
Murphy was over 100 yards. We don't keep stats down on the field or anything like that, but they told us he was well over 100 yards, and Becknell picked up a block punt. Aaron Mundy blocked the punt right at the end of the second quarter, and we ran that in.
All right, getting back to the Peninsula District and Bethel, if you're coaching Bethel, what would you do here in the second half, Danny?
I don't know. They went into that run and shoot offense with, you know, the two slots on both sides, and Kai's a whole lot smarter than I am, but it looks like he has some openings out there. You know,
okay. What about the overall competition in the Peninsula District? Looks like, you know, everybody has a loss under the belt except for Bethel, but things look tight so far.
Yeah, every year it gets tougher. You know, it used to be a few years back you could win 2 or 3 games and just count on, you know, going to the playoffs. But now it's a tough every week. Somebody can beat you on any given week.
All right, Danny. Crabbers had a little letdown last week, but it looks like they weren't ready to lay down and play dead.
No, you know, that's one good thing about us. We've learned how to win, but we've also learned how to come back from adversity. And, you know, we played hard last week, and it wasn't like we didn't go out and give 100% and not play well. But, you know, we left the ball laying on the ground. And this week we issued a challenge to the kids, and they responded well.
How'd the practices go this week?
Hot. It was real hot, you know, but the kids knew we had a job to do, and we stayed out there till we got it done.
Okay. Danny, good luck to you. Congratulations today for you and your staff and the kids, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you a whole lot, AJ.
All right, Danny Mitchell.
Thank you, buddy.
Tim, Bob.
All right, thank you, AG, and thank you, Danny. Our congratulations to the Hampton Crabbers, who were victorious over Warwick, 34-0. Also, our hats off to the Phoebus Phantoms, who shellacked Lafayette 27-0 Friday night.
Well, I didn't recognize Danny Mitchell.
Lost a lot of weight.
Well, no, it's not the way. He doesn't have red and black on.
That's true.
I mean, you see Danny, it's either red or black or, you know, a combination thereof, and there he is in tans and grays, and I said, wow, who is that guy that AG's talking? No, Danny's does an excellent job, and we appreciate those comments from him. For you people who don't have a chance to, you need to get out and see some of these high school football games. There's tremendous entertainment. See some excellent people that end up going into colleges and playing in colleges from all these teams that I talked about earlier this evening.
As a matter of fact, we invite all of our fans to go out this coming weekend and see some games. We will be at Todd Stadium this coming Saturday afternoon for the game between the Phoebus Phantoms. Bill D's crew will take on Wilson of Woodrow Wilson of the other side, the south side.
Hey, let me tell you about this Woodrow Wilson team. We're gonna
watch a replay too. They're gonna show that last touchdown while we're talking.
Okay, this Woodrow Wilson quarterback, a young man by the name of Sparrow, is probably one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the state. So Bill D's group is going to have their hands full containing this young man. He not only passes the ball well, but he runs well too. So that'll be an exciting game. I'd like to see him fill up the Todd Stadium and come out and support that ball game. You'll see a tremendous, tremendous game.
I'm sure they will, and we invite you to, if that game isn't your cup of tea, there are a lot of other games. Consult the Daily Press or the Times Herald for the games that are going on and the places they're being held. By the way, speaking of the Daily Press, I want to thank Mike Keach and Sonny Dirth and Al Pierce for some help this week in compiling some statistics for this game. They have always opened their vault of knowledge whenever I ask. So,
well, not only that, let me just take it one step further. I want to talk to both Coach Newsom and Coach Kozlowski, and I mean, they sit down and they just let you pick the brain. They give you all the information. They give you statistics. They give you everything they can. So it makes our job a little easier when we talk about these young men, because they do excel. Other than athletics, they excel in academics or in other sports or whatever, and we like to know about it. And they'll just open up their doors and just give us all the information they can. We really appreciate all the help we get from the coaches and the coaches' staffs.
All right, we are at halftime. Kecoughtan is leading 14-0, and let me run down the statistics from the first half real quickly here. A real even first half in numbers of first downs, but after that it goes right out the window. 3 first downs apiece for Kecoughtan and Bethel. Kecoughtan had 150 yards rushing. They had no yardage passing. That's right, they did not even attempt to pass here in the first half. So they have 150 yards total. And, you know, coming into this game, Kermit Buggs was 1 for 23 with 1 interception. So he's not. Of course, he hadn't tried anything tonight. You can't go wrong if you don't try.
And last year he did it much better than that too.
I know he did. That's what we're looking for. In fact, my conversation with Coach Kozlowski before the game was he knows that Kermit Buggs is a good quarterback and he's going to erupt one of these times, and he hopes it wasn't tonight. And so far, Buggs hasn't thrown the ball,
but he has erupted, hasn't he?
Oh, he has erupted. Yes, AJ.
Tim, we got some nice-looking young ladies down here that
I bet you do.
We promised some airtime to, and let's see who we have here.
Hi, I'm Shaylee. I'm Renica. Taff. Sarah. Shannon.
Things are going a little better this week, Shannon.
Yes, they are. They're doing a lot better.
All right.
Stephanie. Debbie. Cindy. Margaret. Kim.
Oh, what's been the difference? The cheerleaders had a meeting this week and got things together for the.
Well, we've had things together. We've been waiting for the football team to get things together.
All right. Any predictions?
They're doing great. No, we're behind them all the way.
Any predictions?
Shut up.
All right. Can we have a little special cheer for the second half?
Sure.
All right. Go ahead.
Thank you. A tough job. Now, you know, you got to get on your horse and go across the field and get those equally attractive Bethel High School cheerleaders over here. You know that, don't you, AJ?
You're putting the pressure on him now. You're really putting the pressure on him.
If anyone can do it, he can, though.
Right. Before you finish with the statistics, let me just mention real quick. We normally will show the halftime with the bands, but with the conditions the way it is, the bands are not on the field, and we just want to let the fans know that the reason we're not showing them is because they're not there. It's not that we're slighting them, because we love to get the band in when we can.
Good point. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get to these statistics, but first we're going to get this out of the way. We're going to watch
Thompson Ford.
Thompson Ford. We're going to listen and watch a message from Thompson Ford.
And now, Thompson Ford presents At the Commercials with Lewis and Justin.
You car buyers, come on out to Fast Eddie's cheap, newly used automobiles where all of our cars are loaded with your standard optional features. We got you multi-directional windshield wipers, push-button radio, circular tires, trunk-mounted spare, and dashboard heater vent. And this week you can get a cash rebate. You bring the cash, we'll rebate the hook after the switch. Fast Eddie.
And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there. You know, my mom and papa took us touring all over the U.S. of A. in this fine Ford sedan. We saw the Atlantic Ocean and the Grand Canyon and watched Niagara fall right through them windows right there. Yes, sir. Ford built some dependable automobile back then. Well, let me tell you, they still build them like that. And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there.
Channel 29, WHCS TV.
All right, we got a couple of the Kecoughtan Warrior JV team. Had a big win today. What happened?
Well, it was a tough game, though, but we won, though.
All right, what's your name?
Lindsey Carter, Malik Bryce, and Maurice Mark.
All right, what about tonight's game? Any predictions on the second half?
Well, I say we were going to score at least another touchdown or two, but I don't think anything too.
All right, what about that Warrior football program? Things looking up.
Yeah, out here, you know, they turned it around and everything, trying to bounce back off their two losses and everything. They got a pretty good team. They should do pretty well, you know, for the rest of the season.
All right, you guys going to help them next year?
Yeah, I sure will.
All right, good luck to you. Kecoughtan Warriors.
Yeah, that's fine. Sprite's good.
All right, AG, thank you very much. Now, with just a few seconds remaining, let me run down these stats again real quickly. Kecoughtan, 3 first downs, 150 yards on the ground, no passes. 1 fumble lost, 4 fumbles, in fact, 1 penalty for 10 yards. And they had 10 minutes and 54 seconds of possession. And we're going to watch the first touchdown as I give you these stats. This will be Kecoughtan's first. And you'll watch as Bugs, in fact, fumbles the ball, picks it up, and then lunges into the end zone for the touchdown. Bethel had a like number of first downs with 3, but only 9 yards rushing. They did have 90 yards on the airwaves, 5 out of 12 with 1 interception. That one was captured by number 56 of Kecoughtan, Laddie Anderson, on a deflection. They fumbled twice. They did not lose either of those. They were penalized only 1 time, a total of 2 penalties in the whole first half. So, God forbid we should have a whole bunch in the second half. This was a nice start.
Penalties accepted.
Penalties accepted, exactly. 13:06 was the time of possession for Bethel. Individually, Bowen has 29 yards for Kecoughtan on 8 carries. Bugs has 68 on 5 carries, and 63 of those came on the 1 carry. 53 yards total for Johnson, and he had 41 of those on his big touchdown scamper. And as I said, no passes for Kecoughtan. For the Bruins, they had a total of 9 yards rushing, and the only player with plus statistics was, let's see, it was London with 4 and Muscally with 3. Hodges with -1 and Hodge with -3. That's not indicative of at all of the running capabilities of this Bethel High School team.
Well, but you can't take anything away from the Kecoughtan defense. Kecoughtan defense is doing a good job also.
No question. And they really shut down that Bethel running attack.
Boy, they have that. Now, Bethel will be kicking off to start the second half. And Kecoughtan looked real good. I know that the coaching staff is real pleased, but I'm anxious to see what kind of adjustments that Coach Kozlowski did, because he really has to make some adjustments. He's got to get on the board. He's got to get on the board the third quarter. He's got to cut it to 1 touchdown before the fourth quarter.
Tim, Bob?
Yes, AJ.
Talked with the Kecoughtan coaching staff. I didn't have a chance to talk with Koz's coaching staff, but they made a few adjustments on pass defense over here on the Kecoughtan side during the halftime talks.
Now, you know, Kecoughtan did want to do that because they did give up some passing yardage. But you have to wonder what again, on the other side of that coin, what Koz is going to do as far as getting his team untracked offensively on the ground, because they have to have that balanced attack, and he planned to run half the time, and he's not getting that yardage right now. Fullwood kicks off to start the second half. It's fielded at the 25-yard line. This is Alan Reed, and he is out across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. Check that. It's Chris May, number 14, returns the ball.
Well, that was a short kickoff and gives the Warriors excellent field position.
42-yard line where the Warriors will put the ball in play. Where's your helper at?
Kermit Buggs, who has yet to attempt to pass in this ball game, brings them out.
But why would you want to pass? You're doing as well as they're doing, and you really have a risk when you put the ball in the air. And as slippery as that ball is, it can slip out of your hand.
Momentary timeout. Now they'll resume play. 11:45 to go here in the third quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble coming to you from Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Hampton University. Check that. Kermit Buggs keeps the ball and lunges to the 45.
I don't know if you realize now, but Bethel only had 10 defensive ball players out there, and Kermit evidently picked it up and went to the open spot. You can see maybe on the replay the young man coming, you're missing him. He's just now coming into the area. But there was an open hole there, and it may have been very well because there was miscommunications on the sideline.
Pickup of about 2.5. Let's call it 3. Second down and 7. First pass of the ball game is intercepted. So interception time comes up for Dwayne Nobles, number 24. And as you said, if you're not passing the ball, you don't have to worry about an interception.
That's right. That's why I couldn't understand what Kecoughtan's doing. They've been having good luck keeping the ball on the ground, but he threw the ball to an area, and the defender was too short. And a whistle blown before the young man went down. I guess they thought he was going to go down.
Lawrence Lewis was the intended receiver for Kecoughtan, but it was picked off by Dwayne Nobles. First down for the Bruins as they try and get back in this ball game, trailing by 14. Paul London stumbles forward for about 8 yards.
And that's almost the total yardage they had the first half. But you notice who's starting the quarterback is Mr. Fullwood, number 44. He started at the quarterback, and he's more of an option man than a passer, but he can pass the ball, and he does a good job passing the ball, too.
As I mentioned earlier, he hasn't done a lot of throwing in this season. Coming into this game, he'd only thrown 6 times, completed 3 of those to his teammates and 1 to an opponent. Pitch back to London. London left side, first down for the Bruins. He's across the 45 to about the 47.
Well, it looks like the Cars is trying to establish that running game, and get Kecoughtan thinking, well, we got to stop this run and maybe open up that passing game again. We see on the replays just a simple turnaround and pitch to London. And he just takes that ball, puts his head down, and goes, and picks up the first yard. Nice instant replay, fellas.
Crew doing their usual great job. They've marked the ball at the 46-yard line.
Get him, man!
Fullwood completes the pass left side down to the 40-yard line of Kecoughtan.
What a nice quick hitter. That was to number 11 for the Bruins.
And I believe that's 21.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Craig Rainey, who caught the ball earlier in the game, does another good job of catching for the...
No, that wasn't Rainey. That was number 11.
Was it?
Yeah, there was the left end, as you can see him just going to the top of your screen there.
All right.
He's the one that caught that pass. Trust me.
Trust me, okay. The rain has stopped. I might mention that the rain throughout the first half had been fairly steady, but we have seen a stopping of the rain, and hopefully we won't see any more here in the second half. 4-yard gain for the Bruins. Second down and 6 now as they are in Kecoughtan territory. The ball marked squarely at the 35-yard line. Second and 6 for Dennis Kozlowski's Bruins. Troy Fullwood is the quarterback. He keeps on the option, pitches back to Paul London. London is dragged out of bounds. Over there on the far sideline, Mike Thacker, number 88, had a grasp on him and wouldn't let go, and London finally went out of bounds. So it's going to bring up a third down at about 5 for the Bruins. Watch the replay. You'll see the quarterback option, Fullwood going along the line of scrimmage, and then pitches back to Paul London, who tries to turn the corner. And there you saw a good defensive effort by Mike Thacker to slow him down, and then knock him out of bounds. 3rd down and 5 for the Bruins. Fullwood this time to the near side, and he cannot get loose as Laddie Anderson. Check that, number 50 for Kecoughtan, not Anderson. Well, I'm not sure who number 50 is.
Well, number 66, Bembry was in. He was the one that was covering the pitch man, so Fullwood could not pitch the ball.
Tony Alves.
Right, Alves is number 50 right there.
Number 50, yeah.
But you'll notice 66 is coming out picking up the pitch man. So Bembry did a good job of taking away the 3rd option.
Now, you know, as a coach, that's what you have to do. You have got to take away the pitch man because that makes the quarterback keep the ball, and you can key on him more readily.
Well, and you hopefully will cut him back inside where you got help defensively with the flow of your defensive people coming towards the flow of the backfield anyway. There's a lot of keys out here. The people don't realize that these young men have defensive assignments, they got offensive assignments, they got different keys that they're looking at.
8:24 remains here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a brief timeout and a message from Hampton Chevrolet.
Listen to the heartbeat. There's really something to sing about here at Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. You pay what we pay the factory. Actual dealer invoice, plus up to $1,000 factory rebate to you on every Hampton Chevrolet and Hampton Geo new 1989 car and truck, and every new 1989 Hampton Jeep Cherokee. Yes, you can at Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard.
Back to the live action here. While we were away, there was an incomplete pass. And we do, in fact, have it on the replay for you, so we're going to watch it. Here we see Fullwood go back, rolling to his right. And the wobbly pass is just off the fingertips of the intended receiver, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. But on a 4th down situation, the ball goes over to the Warriors. So again, the Kecoughtan defense comes up with a big play, and the ball is loose. That ball is up for grabs, and who's got it?
The Bruins have got it back.
Yes, they do.
And we want to thank the Bruins for our refreshments. Sun-kissed orange and Sprite, donated to us by Mr. Thomas Bailey, the principal of Bethel High School. Better get that right.
You better get that right. Tracy Brown, number 51, is the big ball hawker that time. He comes up with the fumble recovery. There you see the ball is knocked loose. And again, let's give credit to the man making the hit, and that was Roland Harper. The ball is loose and recovered by the Bruins. Tracy Brown, number 51. So Bethel, trailing by 14, gets the ball back. This is Paul London. Not much happening. Again, Tony Alves, number 50, is there to trip up the ball carrier, and along with Mike Thacker for the Kecoughtan Warriors. David Robinson, number 78, was over there as well. London was the ball carrier. Paul London, number 15, who's seen a pretty good amount of ball carrying here in the ball game. Coming into the game, he'd only carried the ball 7 times for 31 yards in 2 previous games. Fullwood straight back. Now he has to scramble. Throws across the grain, and it is picked off. The Kecoughtan Warriors have it at the 15-yard line.
That is not a real good pass when you throw back across the grain, and with that much height on the ball, it gives a defensive man a chance to play the thing like a receiver. We do have a flag on the play, though, I see out in the middle of the field. Watch this as he is scrambling to his right. He being Fullwood, nobody was open. He comes to the right. And there he throws the ball and gets too much height on it, and Kecoughtan Warrior just plays that like a center fielder. It looks like the penalty is going to go against well, I'm not sure who is going to go against. But if it's against Kecoughtan, you're going to take the penalty because you don't want to take the play if you're Bruins.
I believe we're going to be looking at a dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bruins.
Wow, that hurts.
So the ball, in fact, does end up in the hands of the Warriors. They have it at their 30-yard line. 7:07 remaining. Clock is running. 3rd quarter. Kecoughtan by 14. Bugs has the ball, and he is dropped by Roland Harper, I believe that is, number 77.
I do want to thank Tom Bailey for the drinks. Tom is no stranger to WHCS. Him and I did the wheels basketball, the Hot Wheel basketball team last year together, and he was one of the announcers. He had your spot. He did an excellent job too, by the way.
Juan Shackelford. No wonder he's bringing us drinks. Juan Shackelford in on the stop instead of, in fact, number 77. It's number 75. Nick Bowens is the ball carrier, and this time Harper has a hold of him. Roland Harper, number 77. A little more than 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Watch the replay. And in on the stop also for the Bethel Bruins was number 39. Actually making the initial stop was Jeff Ogborn, number 39. Third down and 10 for the Warriors. Kermit Bugs back to pass. In fact, on the halfback draw, it gives to Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson doing a great job. He fumbles the ball. It goes out of bounds. Kecoughtan will remain in possession of the football.
He is making some moves out there on that slippery field that is unbelievable. But if you look at the sideline, that's where the least traffic has been. So he's probably getting better footage. But it is an excellent call, just a quarterback draw.
Looked like Bugs was, in fact, going to pass. It was third down and 10. And he did go with the draw play. And Kevin Johnson did a super job of following his blocking. And then finally coughed it up, but actually ended up with some plus yardage on the fumble. If you're going to fumble it forward and out of bounds.
There you go.
Second man is Bowen. Nick Bowen back to the line of scrimmage. That was all he got. Well, in fact, check that. It's not Bowen, number 20, but in fact, number 10, Alan Reed, who got the handoff. So Johnson, the last time on that play now, he's come up with some big ones in this ball game. That was 29 yards on that last carry, and he has 82 yards so far on the evening. No gain on the last play by Alan Reed. Fumble on the exchange again. This time Kermit Bugs does in fact fall forward on the football. It may have gotten a half a yard, but more importantly for Kecoughtan, they retain possession.
But also brings up a third and long. And again, you would expect the pass play, but it may. If you're Kecoughtan, if you're Bethel, you got to be watching out for the draw.
Kecoughtan has done a good job of play calling tonight. There you see the scoreboard, 14-0. Kecoughtan on top. 2 first-half touchdowns. 4:27 remains here in the third quarter. Again, the halfback draw. Nick Bowen gets back to the line of scrimmage and then spins forward for maybe 1 yard, but that'll be all. And making the stop for Bethel was 51, Tracy Brown, among others. So now the Warriors will be looking at a fourth down, and Dustin Farr will in fact check into the ball game to do the punting for the Warriors as they want to protect that 14-point lead. They really don't want to give the ball up in good field position. There you see a replay as Bowen gets back to the line of scrimmage. And then Tracy Brown does a good job of wrestling him to the ground. This ball goes out of bounds. There will be no return, and they'll mark it right at, let's see, where are they going to end up marking it? At the 15-yard line. So the officials lining up the play will set up the Bruins at their 15-yard line, and the Bruins now will be 85 yards away for what you determined was going to have to be a must situation here in the third quarter.
Well, they got 3:42. It seems like to me it's been a long quarter with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in it, but Kecoughtan was in a bad situation when they intercepted that ball deep in there, but then the personal foul brought the ball way out, so it took them out of the hole, and they moved the ball down the field well.
Next week on what day? Is it Saturday?
Paul London gets the call for the Bruins as they stay pretty conservative here on this drive. They have the shadow of their goalpost behind them.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over down at this end of the stadium, but you can't turn it over anywhere. But if it's going to be, at least make them have a long drive because they're liable to make a mistake. But we've had many turnovers tonight, and it's a lot of it's got to do with the field and the conditions.
77.
Fullwood on the option, pitches back, hurtling down the far sidelines for some tough yardage. And again, that's Paul London, number 15, who's had a lot of ball carries tonight. He's had his number called more than usual.
Well, and he looked like a hurdler on that track. He really, if you'll see here on the replay, it was a nice pitch by Fullwood to London to get around a corner. Wait until a man was in his face and pitched, but watch this jump right over the top of a would-be tackler. And that,
good work,
Joe Lewis did a great job on that.
Not much happening this time. Again, the Kecoughtan defense comes up big on Corey Hodge, and he has been just virtually shut down tonight. Corey Hodge just has not done much at all.
Well, they're kind of keying on him because he has been the big gun for the Bruins, but they better watch out for Paul London. The young man is just doing a super job tonight running that ball in these conditions.
Hodge has carried 7 times, and he's only got 4 yards. So the Kecoughtan defense has done an excellent job of shutting him down. Fullwood again on the option, pitches back to London. London struggles forward and then is finally tripped up, and literally tripped up, by number 55, David Heath, who did such a great job last week for Kecoughtan. And in fact, he was signaled out among others as one of the outstanding ball players of that game.
Yes, he was.
Get a chance to see the replay here. I'm curious if, in fact, he didn't stick his leg out and trip up the ball carrier. I want to see this again, see if we can pick it up. Because the ball carrier gets past him right here. He's going to grab for him and then trip him up with this, but it was unintentional. So he did, in fact, trip him, but not intentionally. Fullwood, on what appears to be a busted play, running for his life, loses yardage. It appeared that Fullwood wanted to hand that ball off, and when he couldn't find the intended ball carrier, he had to keep it himself. And the pursuit of the Kecoughtan defense just would not allow him to cut it up.
Well,
don't you know those feet are heavy right about now?
Well, and you're going east and west instead of north and south. A good friend of mine once told me that if you run between the lines, that's track. You run across the lines, that's football. And he was running parallel. He wants to run across those lines. Now we're in for punt formation.
Mike Taylor will be back standing at his 20-yard line. Gets a good snap, little or no rush from Kecoughtan, and the kick is fielded at the 45-yard line and then taken down immediately. That's Mike Williams for Kecoughtan fielding the ball, and he was tackled by Rodney Bowens, number 11, for the Bruins. Inside of a minute to go here in the third quarter, Kecoughtan holding on to a 14-point lead. If you just joined us, all the scoring came in the first half as Kecoughtan scored on a 1-yard plunge by Kermit Buggs, his second touchdown of the year, and then Kevin Johnson broke a 41-yarder for a touchdown, and they lead by the score of 14-0. Kecoughtan with the ball again, good field position, their 46-yard line. Buggs gives to Bowens. Bowens is pushed back on a super defensive effort.
Number 20, Nick Bowens, stopped in his own backfield by number 75, Juan Shackelford.
Again, Juan Shackelford is in on the stop for the Bruins. He, and along with Roland Harper, have been the mainstays of the defense for the Bruins so far. You see the replay, Bowens is there, and so is Shackelford. So there was nothing happening that time for Kecoughtan. They're going to just let the clock wind down and out here as we're going to conclude 3 quarters of play. So after 3 quarters of play, the score is Kecoughtan 14, Bethel nothing. And let's take a brief timeout and a message from Peninsula Screen Printing.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or a special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
12 minutes remaining in this ball game. Kecoughtan with the football and a 14-point lead. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and A.G. Womble. Saturday night, September the 16th, 1989. Hampton University, Armstrong Field. Bugs, his pass is incomplete, tipped, and in fact, intercepted on a great effort.
Wow.
Paul London.
Intercepts the pass.
Super job. That tip drill that you work on, of course, it worked that time. London gets the intercept, and Bugs is really smitten. He has connected on one pass coming into this game. Now he's completed 2 in this game, both of them to the wrong player. He's thrown twice and been intercepted both times. So this is unbelievable because Bugs is a good quarterback. But
he really is. That went off the hands of his receiver. That should have been caught. But what concentration that Paul London showed in catching that ball before it hit the ground and not trapping it.
Super job. Now the Bruins, trailing by 2 touchdowns, have to get on the scoreboard. Robbie Robinson is back at quarterback. He throws near sideline. The pass is incomplete. Intended receiver was Rodney Bowens, number 11. Bowens had caught a ball earlier, but this time the pass was too hard to catch. Bowens, coming into this game, had 3 catches for a total of 56 yards. Get a chance to watch this again.
And this ball actually just goes right through his arms. It's just a comeback, and he went down, he planted, came back on a little curl pattern, and the ball was there, and it just went right through his hands.
Robinson getting some pressure. He throws it downfield more or less away as he was throwing in the area of Craig Rainey. But he was getting super pressure.
That was a good, smart move, because had he not thrown that ball, he was going to lose about 20 yards.
Bring up a 3rd down and 10 yards.
Clock stops with 11:08 as we'll watch the replay.
The ball is spotted at the 41, and he is clear back to the 30 when he throws that ball, so he'd lost about 10 yards anyway.
Don't you know those big linemen love to chase him that far? David Robinson, number 78, and Tony Alves.
That takes a lot out of him. It really does.
What little ball I played in high school, I remember those runs. Come back to the huddle asking for oxygen. Again, Robinson back to pass. Throws it way over the head of the intended receiver. And again, Craig Rainey was that intended receiver. Brings up a 4th down and 10 now, so the Bruins, getting desperate, find themselves in a punting formation again. There you see Coach Kozlowski on your screen. The yellow pants, clipboard in hand.
And there's no smile on that face.
So again, Taylor will be back in deep punt formation, standing inside his 30. Get a trick play on a play like this? Is it early enough in the 4th quarter, Bob?
Well, the conditions won't allow it. He's going to kick the ball. He's got to.
Just barely gets it away. Not a particularly long kick. It rolls dead at the 40-yard line, where it's immediately pounced on by 2 players, one from Kecoughtan. That was number 14, Chris May, and the Bethel Bruin was right there to cover him.
That was number 15, Paul London, who has been all over this field tonight for the Bruins.
10:54 remaining in the 4th quarter. Kermit Bugs will be at the quarterback position again for Kecoughtan. Watch the replay of the punt and the non-return. And back to the live action. Nick Bowens gets the call. A couple of tough yards. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight, considering the weather conditions. Of course, we'd like to see these stands filled for the games, but just hasn't been happening.
You see your favorite coach here tonight, Danny Mitchell. We appreciate Danny talking to us.
Danny's all right. We get as much information from Danny as we can, because he likes to talk about Hampton High School.
Yes, he does.
And he knows what's going on. Inside of 10 minutes to go. Bugs along the line of scrimmage, turns it up inside, struggles across the 46 to about the 47. And he'll be just about 2 yards shy of the first down.
Number 7, Kermit Bugs, moving the ball to the Kecoughtan.
Does the name Tim Fox mean anything?
9:30 left in the ball game.
You'll notice on this replay how well Bugs keeps his feet underneath him as he's making the cut and just finding the little seams that picks up yardage for him. He's doing an excellent job tonight in these terrible conditions.
Close to a first down for the Warriors. We'll have to wait and see where they mark the football.
Well, if they spot it at the 50, that is a first down, because the marker is just shy of the 50. And yes, it is a first down, as signaled to us by Mike Robinson, the man in the white hat.
Let's see if we can pick up on the replay who carried the ball for the Warriors. It was hard to pick up just who he handed off to. I believe that was Kevin Johnson, yeah.
Yes, it is, number 5.
Kevin Johnson, and guess who had his arms wrapped around him? Juan Shackelford. Shackelford and Harper have been in on, I would guess, the greatest majority of the defensive plays by the Bruins tonight. Mix up in the backfield. Bugs keeps it, but he is going to be sacked, if in fact that's what you'd call that. And again, Juan Shackelford was there, as was Roland Harper. So two very prominent members of the defense for Bethel have been out there tonight, and Shackelford and Harper, they have done a great job for Dennis Kozlowski's Bethel Bruins.
Yes, they have.
Get a chance to watch this again. You see where Johnson and Bugs run into each other, and then Bugs tries to make something out of it, and Shackelford has him wrapped up, and then Harper comes in and finishes him off.
Well, a little footnote to Juan Shackelford. His dad, Lou Shackelford, was the basketball coach at Bethel High School before I took over.
Kevin Johnson gets the first down and then some, a fumble, but I think they're going to say that the fumble occurred after the whistle had blown. They do. So the Kecoughtan Warriors, Kevin Johnson, gets a big first down for them. Johnson has done a great job tonight running the football for the Warriors. He has a 100-yard night, even 100 yards on 8 carries, 15 yards on that last scamper.
He's coming off for a breather.
And Bugs has got 77 yards and 9 carries. Here we see a replay. Just hard to catch up with Mr. Johnson there. He kind of blew right through our picture.
And number 10, Alan Reed, goes in to replace him, give him a breather.
So Nick Bowens is in there along with, I was going to start to say who it was, but Bugs in the meantime is throwing out in the flat, and this time it goes incomplete.
He was hit by Rainey, number 21, and also number 39 for the Bruins was Jeff Ogburn. Those two people were right in his face when he tried to pass that ball. As you see on the replay, he turns around, makes a fake, and look who's right there. Boom.
Yeah, he did well just to get that ball off.
Yes, he did.
Joe Flewellen was his intended receiver, but had to rush the pass. So Bugs continues with no success through the air. 7:06 remaining. Again, a bobble on the handoff from center, and Bugs gets maybe a yard. Brings up a 3rd down and 9 for Kecoughtan.
And the time is slipping away from the Bruins. They're under 7 minutes, and they're 14 down. They've got to get the ball back and got to score.
Last year, the Bruins came away with a 29-6 victory over this Kecoughtan team. And, of course, Kecoughtan, looking for their first victory of the season, is about 6.5 minutes away from that. Bugs on the delay. Kevin Johnson gets the call. He will be about 5 yards short of the first down.
Well, Tim is getting close to the point that we need to start talking about who we would like to just single out as the outstanding player of these two different teams. I've right now put mine down as Kevin Johnson for the Warriors and Paul Linden for the Bruins, and of course there's all kinds of good players out there.
Well, you certainly could give a good account for those two players to be nominated. I've got a couple other names I'd like to throw out there as a possibility as well. Bugs' pass over the middle was intended for Mike Thacker, number 88, and the ball was knocked away on a good defensive effort by the Bruins. So now the ball is going to go over to Bethel. I can certainly agree with those nominations. I also have to take my hat off to both Shackelford and Harper for the Bruins on defense. They've done a super job.
Oh, absolutely. You notice those are the other two names I've got down here.
And Kermit Bugs has done a good job, too. He was instrumental. That 63-yard scamper in the first quarter set up that first touchdown. And he has had tough conditions out there. He's coming off of an injury. He's had no success throwing the ball, yet he's done a real fine job of being the captain and quarterback of this team tonight.
And the leader on that.
That's what I meant by the captain. He's done a good job of keeping this team going. And they could have let down a lot after that loss to Ferguson last week because they played well enough to win but did not. And they came out here tonight and was showing this Bethel team that they are a team to be contended with. And Bethel, oh my gracious, what a block put on that man. All the way down the sideline. That is Corey Hodge. Finally getting a big run.
That was number 21, Rainey, put a hit on Llewellyn.
Oh, did he ever? I hope we got that on replay.
What a hit. But that was a nice call, that screen pass, and he did a good job of picking up his blockers. As you can see, he catches the ball, and then he cuts it back over to the left and picks up his blockers. Real good, picks them up. And you'll see number 2 coming in here to catch him and really get laid right there.
Oh, my gracious, did he
by
ever?
Mr. Rainey.
Oh.
What a shot.
That's one you look for all during your career. You look for a chance to set someone up like that. Hodge puts Bethel back in the ball game, 31-yard line, first down, 5.5 minutes to go. And not much happening on the carry this time. In on the stop for Kecoughtan. And, you know, we might be hurrying our choices here for player of the game. John Johnson, number 76, with a big stop. And number 78 in there also was David Robinson. But, yeah, you know, there's a lot of choices right now, but that play was a big play.
It really was. And there was so many good blocks thrown on that play that opened him up. Not just that one that caught everybody's eye, but there were some other blocks that helped spring Hodge on that run.
Robinson rolling to his right, throws downfield. He has an intended receiver. It is picked off. Kecoughtan Warriors have the football. Chris May with the big interception. So Chris May picks off the errant Robbie Robinson pass and brings it out to the 30-yard line, but more importantly, he gets the ball back for the Warriors.
Yes, it does, and with the time remaining of 4:40 and counting, now Kecoughtan has got the ball, and they can really take some time off the clock. As you can see, this pass is just an excellent job of coming back and intercepting that ball. Just outfought Bowen for it. And actually almost knocked down by his own ball player.
So the Warriors now hope to keep the clock moving, keep possession of the football. A little more than 4 minutes remains in the ball game, and Kecoughtan still leading 14-0. Will hopefully control the ball and the clock here for the duration. They'd like to chew up the yardage and get a couple of first downs and thus
chew up that clock. That's exactly what they want to do. Bethel's got 2 opponents now. They've got the Warriors trying to get the ball back, and then they got Mr. Clock.
The ball is loose, a fumble. And Kecoughtan recovers, so the ball was knocked loose.
And that was Joe Llewellyn that got the recovered fumble, number 2.
That is the 7th time in the ball game that the Warriors have fumbled a ball. Fortunately for Kecoughtan, they've only lost 2 of them. Here, watch the replay. He stuck it in his midsection and tried to bring it back, and the ball popped loose.
Well, that's the part of that veer. And there goes Mr. Thomas Bailey. We thank you for the drinks, Thomas.
Yes, we do. Another fumble. And Bugs apparently falls right on the ball, but it is going to bring up a 4th down. So that is the 8th time that Kecoughtan has fumbled the ball. And to their credit, they've only lost 2 of them. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the ball game. Kecoughtan looking at a 4th down and 7. What do you do, Coach? Do you rush the punter and hope to get a block, or do you play for the run back?
Well, you rush.
They did. They almost got it. They did not. The ball takes a Bethel roll. Check that, a Kecoughtan roll down to the Bethel 45.
Well, you got to go for a big play. In this situation, you've got to try to make something happen. And they did put a big rush on them, but the Bethel Bruins were not ready when the ball was snapped. Had they been ready, they may have gotten to the ball because they were very close.
So the Bruins now averaging 28 points a game coming in. Have yet to register a point on the board tonight. 2:06, and the clock is moving. They're 55 yards away from pay dirt. Kecoughtan is 2 minutes away from their first victory of the season. Robbie Robinson is the quarterback. On the draw play, not much, maybe 2, 3 at the most. Steve Hodges gets the call for the Bruins. And you have to wonder if on that play, with 2 minutes to go, are you conceding the ball game?
Well, Kozlowski doesn't concede anything. He's trying to surprise him. They expect him to pass, so he's going to try that quick hitter and see if he can't pick up some yardage, but he's got to put the ball up in the air now.
Pitch to Steve Hodges, sweep right side. Hodges is knocked out of bounds.
Well, that'll stop the clock, but he just made a liar out of me. I thought for sure they would pass
I'm not saying for a minute that he's given up.
No, and I know you're not. It's just that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it just appears that way. Kozlowski's never given up in a ball game in his life, not until the last second has ticked off the clock.
And we got a timeout on the field.
Well, while we have this timeout, let's go ahead and take a brief pause and a message from Thompson Ford.
Thompson Ford.
Place you can count on.
And our friend.
You know, my grandmama was one of the first women to register to vote in this county. And one of the first to have an automobile driver license, too. And her old Ford still runs sweet as she ever did. And when she need a little maintainment, I take her to the best Ford service department in the U.S. of A. That's Thompson Ford. They speak Ford out there.
Bob's his favorite coach. All right, let's watch the replay. Pitch back goes to Steve Hodges. Paul London leading the blocking for him. There's just not much room over there. And the Kecoughtan pursuit has been excellent all night. There you saw another one of the candidates, David Heath, as he's turned in another good, steady job tonight for Kecoughtan.
Well, we haven't got any feedback from AG or anybody else, but
Tim, well, let's see now. I think AG's about to talk to us.
Tim?
Yes, AG.
I'm looking at Kermit Bugg's leadership. He got him off to the good start tonight, and I'm going with him for the Warriors.
That's not a bad choice, like you said, and we want to emphasize that our picking up players here as player of the game is purely unscientific. It's just for the fun of it. We just wanted to try and single out some outstanding ball players. And Dr. Stills here, our producer in the booth, says his choice is Kevin Johnson, number 5 for Kecoughtan.
Yeah, that's who I go with. That young man has just did an outstanding job, and I'm not saying that Kermit hasn't, but he'd be my man. To gain over 100 yards in these conditions is unbelievable, and he's not a plow horse, not a big, heavy runner, which you would expect to get that kind of yardage.
Robinson wants to set up the screen. He does, but he can't complete the pass, as he was getting outstanding pressure from John Johnson, number 76.
What do you got down there, AG, on the Bethel player?
Well, Bob, Bethel offensively struggled tonight. I think 15, Paul London did have a good game. I was impressed with his action tonight.
Very good.
57 seconds remains here in the fourth quarter. You're watching a replay now. This is not the live action you're seeing. You're going to see, well, you're going to go back to live action. Now you're going to see a Bethel Bruins start well ahead of the snap of the ball.
And they're kind of walking with their heads down. They've kind of given up. It's almost a hopeless situation. You're down 14 points and you have under a minute to go. And it's just, you know, it's hard to keep your head up. You feel like you were a good team and that you come in here undefeated, and they had a chance of going up 3-0 and being one of the top teams on the peninsula. And what happens? Up and get snake bit. This parity that you were talking about, nobody is safe. Danny Mitchell mentioned that. Every team is tough this year.
I really don't think there is a weak team in the Peninsula District right now. Even Menchville, with a first-year coach, is 2-1. Deep, the man is open. He's got it inside the 20-yard line at the 19. So Kecoughtan has to regroup here. Craig Rainey on the receiving end of that pass with 51 seconds remaining.
Had that pass been long enough, he could have walked right into the end zone. He was way behind the defense. As you could probably hear some of the Kecoughtan coaches screaming on the sideline, don't let that guy get behind you.
We're back to live action momentarily. This is the replay there, but on the field right now, Robinson completes the pass over the middle to Corey Hodge at the 13-yard line. And now a timeout quickly called by the Bruins with 39 seconds remaining.
They do not want to get shut out.
They don't want to lose, but they certainly don't want to be shut out. Exactly. So let's tell the folks again. Next Saturday afternoon, we're going to be at Todd Stadium. We'll watch the replay of this play. There you see the bomb. This is the previous play when the catch was made by Rainey. There you go. That was the one we didn't get a chance to finish showing you. But next Saturday afternoon at Todd Stadium, the Phoebus Phantoms will entertain Woodrow Wilson. And what's this young man's name for Wilson, the quarterback?
Sparrow is the quarterback, and he is an excellent quarterback.
So that one should be a good one. We invite all of you fans to come out to Todd Stadium. And then the following week, we invite you to come out to the brand new, to be christened by us, Darling Stadium. We're going to be there for the big game between these Kecoughtan Warriors and the Hampton Crabbers. And that will be
a barn burner, I guarantee you.
You know it will.
And we're looking forward to that opening down there. They say it's going to be ready. I haven't been by
well, I did. In
last
fact,
2 or
I did
3
stop
weeks.
by there tonight, and they're going to have to work some overtime in the next 2 weeks to get the thing
well,
ready.
they got lights. They can turn the lights on.
They got lights on. They need a few finishing touches, but we'll be there 2 weeks from Friday, or Saturday, rather. Robbie Robinson keeps and goes out of bounds, stopping the clock with 31 seconds remaining.
Well, we just hope that Hurricane Hugo just stays away and doesn't mess up the time schedule.
That is something, of course, we will not know until later on the next 3 or 4 days.
Well, he did pick up the first down. He went out of bounds, so the ball is spotted at, looks like about the 6-7 yard line.
First and goal for the Bruins. This is Robbie Robinson looking in the end zone. He throws touchdown. Paul London on the receiving end of the pass. A 7-yard pass.
That was a nice play. He just rolled to his right, and London just did a nice little hook and found an open spot at the back of that end zone. And Robbie Robinson did a good job of drilling that ball right into the numbers.
So the Bruins now, with 27 seconds remaining, will try the extra point. And then, of course, you can, without any question, look for an onside kick. So, as we said before, Kozlowski has never given up until the final second is off the clock. Fullwood has to wait for a moment while the ball is teed up by Gwaltney. And, in fact, the kick is good, as he did get it down. 55 yards, the length of the drive, 7 plays. A minute 52, the time of possession, and now it's 14-7.
Tim?
And we're going to watch a replay.
And you notice that Robbie will roll to his right, gets the ball, rolls to his right, and London just goes down and hooks right to an open spot in that zone coverage, and there he was, wide open. And
Great job.
Nice pass and nice catch. Good combination.
And a good job from the crew, again, as usual. AG, go ahead.
Tim, that confirms my pick, I think, for the Bethel Bruins, Paul London.
All right.
Now, the surprise of the night. Do you think it'll be an onside kick?
Well, I will be on the floor if it's not. How does that sound?
Well, will he kick it to the side? Will he pop it in the air? See, there's a lot of different ways to do that onside. Just got to go 10 yards. It's got to cross to 50.
I think they're going to line up all on one side. I think we're going to see them start out like this, and then I'm going to see them all going to come to one side, either the far side or the near side, and they're going to go after that ball. What do you want to see? Here we go. They're all going to go to the right side. They're going to get set. Needless to say, it's going to be 10 yards. It has gone 10 yards. It is fallen upon and covered and taken by the Kecoughtan Warriors. So very wisely.
All they have to do is take one snap and go down on his knee, and that's the game.
So very wisely, the Warriors fall on the ball and make sure they've got it in their grasp. That was Mike Thacker, number 88, who did just that for Kurt Newsom's crew. There you see our new logo, as designed by Scotty Bauer's lovely wife. What's her first name? Diane? Is that her name?
I don't know.
Diane Bowers, is that? Yeah, Diane. She did a great job on that logo.
Oh, she did that, and she had to make it big like that for Scotty.
Now that wasn't nice.
Well, you want to be, you know.
Or big.
And it came from Turner Sports Place, did it for the shirts, and we really appreciate that. Dave Chubb and those people. Man, Tim, that is the end of the ball game.
And we invite you to stay tuned at the end here, because we're going to have some final statistics for you, and AG will undoubtedly have some interviews with the combatants. But first, let's take a brief timeout and a message from Hampton Chevrolet.
Listen to the heartbeat. There's really something to sing about here at Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. You pay what we pay the factory. Actual dealer invoice, plus up to $1,000 factory rebate to you on every Hampton Chevrolet and Hampton Geo new 1989 car and truck, and every new 1989 Hampton Jeep Cherokee. Yes, you can at Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard.
There you see the final score from Armstrong Stadium. 14 for Kecoughtan. Nothing. Check that, 7 for the Bethel Bruins. AG.
All right, we got last week's player of the game, David Heath. David, a little different tonight.
Yes, sir. It was a lot different. We come out and we started clicking right off the start. This last touchdown was kind of depressing. Right. But, you know, we still got it.
Looks like at the end of the last week's game, Kurt Newsom wanted to know if y'all were ready to quit, and it sounds like y'all responded tonight.
No, sir. Nobody's ready to quit.
All right. Good game. Good luck to you the rest of the season, Dave.
Thank you, AG.
Well, AG, looks like you got number 5 down there. If you'll get a hold of him and talk to Mr. Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson, outstanding game, Kevin. Over 100 yards. Your thoughts on the big win tonight?
Well, we needed this win, and we hadn't won a game yet, and the team just got fired up and just came out here to play.
Explain that first touchdown.
Well, it was a 12 dive, and I just followed behind my blocking, and I just saw it straight away and just cut up.
Blocking was exceptional for you tonight.
Oh, yeah, it was. And linemen always do a good job. They just did.
A lot of leadership from Kermit Buggs tonight.
Oh, yes, sir. A lot of leadership. Kermit, he's always like that, and a big help to our team.
What about the rest of the season?
Well, we hope to go 8-2 now, but, you know, just take one game at a time.
All right, great game. Kevin Johnson.
Well, I think there's no doubt that he's unanimous on the Kecoughtan side. It looked like everybody is kind of pulling for him for the player of the game on Kecoughtan, and he was real excited. There was an excellent game out there. The conditions the first half were just atrocious with the rain, and then the rain stopped the second half, and Collins' group just couldn't get on get it in first gear. They would start to go, and then something would happen, and they turn the ball over or something. But these young men they're fighters, and they'll be back. And Mr. Zopoulos has us some final statistics, and I know you just can't wait to get them out.
Man, you know I can't. Wait.
I'm going to try to get
All right, we're going to run down these real quickly while AG is looking for some more people to talk with. The final stats in the 14-7 victory by Kecoughtan. Bethel, in fact, ends up with almost twice as many first downs. They had 11-6 for Kecoughtan. But the Warriors had 213 yards on the ground, no yards passing, 0 for 4 for Kermit Buggs with 2 interceptions. They fumbled the ball 8 times, but to their credit, held on to 6 of those. They only lost 2. They were penalized one time for 10 yards, and they had the ball 24 minutes and 24 seconds. For the Bruins, 11 first downs, 64 yards rushing, 176 yards passing, a total yardage of 240.
Thank you.
They actually had more yardage than Kecoughtan did. 10 out of 24 for the combined efforts of Fullwood and Robinson, 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles. They did not lose those. 3 penalties for 25 yards, and they had the ball a little more than 23.5 minutes. AG, who you got with you?
All right. Kermit Buggs, man of the hour, Tim Bob. Kermit, fantastic game, and tell us about those muff plays. It seemed like every time you dropped the ball, you'd score.
Well, I just dropped the ball and tried to get the best I could out of it. You know,
that wasn't a design play.
No, it wasn't a design play. I just dropped the ball and I tried to get what I could.
0-2 going in. It looks like the Warriors responded tonight.
Yes, like I told you last week, we was just gonna go back and work hard and try to come after Bethel, and tonight we did it.
What about the turf tonight? Was that a big factor for
the turf? Was a big problem. There was a lot of slipping and sliding. That was a lot of calls for the missed fumbles and everything. But I'm just happy we won.
What about the rest of the season, Kermit?
Well, we're looking forward to Northview next week, and we're gonna try to go 8-2 this season because we know we can do it.
Okay, good luck to you. Kermit Buggs.
Thank you, AG, and our congratulations to Kermit Buggs and Kurt Newsom and his victorious Kecoughtan Warriors, who have registered their first victory of the season, a 14-7 upset victory, at least in the eyes of some of the people watching this game, over the previously undefeated Bethel Bruins. Coach Dennis Kozlowski undoubtedly disappointed with the outcome of this game, but his group did a good job. They kept coming back. They didn't give up, and they finally got on the scoreboard, but it just simply was a little too much Kecoughtan and not enough time.
Yeah, they just ran out of time. They really did. They finally got it going. But as you said on the statistics, I mean, they passed the ball, they moved the ball, but they just couldn't get it in the end zone, and that's where it counts. You got to get the ball in the end zone to win a ball game.
Well, Corey Hodge for the Bruins, only 4 yards total on the night with 7 carries. 10 yards for Steve Hodges. 4 yards for Muscally. And AG, you got Coach Kozlowski?
Yeah, you got Coach Koz. Koz, I know you had to be disappointed. What went wrong tonight?
Well, obviously the conditions hurt what we had intended to do, to throw the ball, and of course one of our assets is our speed, and we really weren't able to utilize it that much with the option. And when we fell behind, you know, we took the wind in the fourth quarter, realizing that we may still be down, and then we were going to throw the football in the fourth, and we did, but unfortunately we threw it to a couple Kecoughtan kids a couple times.
Okay, Koz, they seemed to get the breaks early. They fumbled the ball and pick it up. You know, Kermit picked it up and ran for a lot. That had to hurt.
Well, to have them stopped, it was matter of fact, it was a third down play where that happened, and we were just overly aggressive and over pursuing the ball. We weren't alert enough. There were 3 or 4 times the ball was on the ground, and none of our people even saw the ball, and we should have had people there to recover, but unfortunately they weren't there. But I was real proud of our kids. They did a good job. They hustled. A little disappointed at our tackle in the first half, but that happens.
You're 2-1 now. The parity, we talked about that. That's there this season. It's anybody's season in the Peninsula District.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. You know, the proof is going to be, it's not where you are at the beginning of the season, it's where you are at the end of the season, and, you know, we're back to the drawing board.
Guys, good luck to you the rest of the season. Thanks for talking to us. Coach Koz.
Thank you, AG, and thank you, Coach Kozlowski, a trooper and a winner always.
Oh, we need to give a special thanks tonight to Kirk Hutchinson, who helped us with the audio, but also want to mention our staff, who always do an excellent job, and Scotty Bowers and Stam Still, and Dr. Sam, of course, and his able son, who comes all the way down from Richmond out of Channel 6 up there in Richmond, Sam Still Jr., Joe Lewis on slow motion, Angela Brown on the cameras, Beverly Penn down on the graphics, Jerome Young on the other camera, and of course your man Jerry Zopoulos, giving us the statistics, and of course
he's gone.
Well, see how quick he is.
He is out of here, and so are most of the fans and the players as they have made their way to the exits. And this game is history, and the league right now, as I was looking down my list here, there are no less than 7 teams with 2-1 records, or rather 6 teams with 2-1 records overall in the Peninsula District. The other 3 are 1-2. So the parity is there. We're going to look for some great season games for the rest of the season. Next Saturday afternoon, Todd Stadium will be there. We hope you're there, as the Phoebus Phantoms will host the Woodrow Wilson Presidents, and there will be Peninsula games throughout the area. Check the newspaper for the local listings where the games are going to be and what time. And again, our thanks to the fine folks here at Hampton University, who always do a great job helping us set up and did a super job as usual. So the final score again, the Kecoughtan Warriors 14, the Bethel Bruins 7. For Bob Hintz and A.G. Wall, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.